Hey everyone, welcome back to our podcast called Childhood Expired, where we talk about our experiences as young adults. I'm Kike, your funny and wise one of the group, married to Kathy.
I'm Kathy, the dog mom and glue that keeps this group together.
And I'm Abril. I am the college student that adds fire to this group.
And on today's topic, we're going to be talking about the assumption that Christians don't have fun. We don't party, we don't drink, we don't do drugs. So, are Christians fake? Is the big question. So let's attack that one first. Are Christians fake?
So I think we live in the Jesus belt of the South. That being a Christian here is labeled as if you go to church on Sunday or if you believe in God. All right, that's how you get labeled a Christian.
Air quotes.
Yeah. If you believe in God, you are a Christian is how the label is used. And because of that, I think you even said once on a conversation we had, in high school, I remember one time I went to the Christian group
the
club.
FCA.
Yeah, that would meet before school every once in a while.
I think that's what it was called.
And I remember one time I went and it was a bunch of sporty girls and guys who all they talked about was the party that they had went to the night before or the weekend of, I don't remember.
Yeah.
And immediately I was like, yeah, this isn't it. But they were all Christians, air quote, right? And so are they fake? I'm going to say biased, right? No. No. But I think because the term gets loosely put around, and especially if you don't know the person and they're like, I'm a Christian, but they act one way, you're meant to take them at their word if you don't know them. And I think that's what happens to the majority of us. It's the same way with any other religion, right? There's a bunch of assumptions about Muslims or about Jews, but until you have a relationship with a certain person of that background, you take what you hear at face value. Mm-hmm. So, are we fake? No, but
we're not. The three at this table are not. I can say that much.
Yeah, but I understand the assumption. I get it. I get why people.
And I think it's just seen so much. And the other thing, not just even partying, what you do on your weekend, how you treat people is a very common one. Well, aren't you Christian? And they were just yelling at the cashier.
Oh yeah.
It's dude, if you're living for Christ,
right?
Just when you're bothered, if you scuff or something and do something
and
walk
just
away,
rude, even if it's not
people
yelling.
are watching that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people that work at restaurants know that Sunday is the worst day to work. Because all of the Christians.
And how sad is that?
Mm-hmm.
It's not Sunday's a great day because we're going to get so much
nice
customers.
People,
it's going to be, because it is a lot of people on Sundays go out to eat. But, we're going to deal with annoying people. We're going to deal with how sad. It hurts my heart. And it's
we need to do better, Christians.
It's something that's really big in my personal life. And you guys know that about me, my testimony. Mm-hmm. What I do, no matter where I am. I think that's such an important thing. I think Jesus valued that. And we're supposed to be trying to be like Jesus, following Christ. Mm-hmm. And it's important to me what I portray, how I treat people, what I do, when I'm alone. Living what you preach, even if nobody has eyes on me. And
something that I like about what you're saying, that is applied to my life. When people see me outside of work, they see the same person at church. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people that I know that go to church are different outside of church.
Yeah.
So it's you gotta watch your testimony because you don't want to be two-faced. You don't want to be fake. I would say Christians. It depends on the person.
Yeah.
And that's why that's what we're getting at. It's just who's being a Christian truly or not, because we all have our flaws. We're not perfect.
Yeah, we mess up.
Yeah. But a hint that can give it away to who's fake and who's not could also be we're forgiven, nobody's perfect.
Only God could judge me.
Only God can judge me. No, shut up. We're here to help each other.
It's one thing to to sin because you were tempted and fell into it. It's another thing to plan that you're going to sin tomorrow and expect that Jesus is going to forgive me in 2 days, so it don't matter.
Yeah, that's abusing grace.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, that's one of the things that I've always thought was like that right there is fake, or like being, like I said, a different person outside of church. Like, I try to be the same person outside of church and inside of church. I like video games. I like hanging out with people. I like certain things. I like memes that they're not for everyone. But I also love God, and I try to keep him first, and I try to keep him as a priority. So I would say it really falls on like
the individual.
Yeah, the individual itself.
Sometimes, though, I think even us that are, like, watchful of our testimony, like me, it's really important to me. Sometimes I can fall into that, too, of somebody having a misconception of me, especially when they don't know you. Because I know, for me, multiple times, I just always look serious. It's just who I am. I'm plain, boring person. Like, my face is, if I'm not talking to nobody or doing anything, my face is just plain. Okay? I'm just sitting there. And I'm perfectly fine. I'm happy. But some people see that as a bad thing, right? So I've had people tell me before, like, I used to see you in school and thought you were, like, rude as heck. Like, just thought you were, you didn't like me. And I know nothing about the person. That you didn't like me or anybody, that you just, and now I know you, and, like, we're in church together, whatever, and totally wrong. You know?
Yeah.
Or now when I've met you, like, you're nice, you know? Yeah, and so I could see somebody thinking, too, like, well, isn't she Christian? And she looks at everybody mean. And I don't like look at people mean. I'm just your chilling.
I do get that a lot. Like, people, when they talk about me, they say that they thought that I was like a very serious person until they meet me, and then I'm just like this, like, oh, hi, how are you? Like, actually, it's mostly at work because I have a serious face when I work.
So I have a confession, and I don't know if I'll get in trouble for this, but too late. Okay. So most churches give like bumper stickers to their whatever, to their congregation, whatever. When our church gave out the bumper stickers, I didn't put it on my car because I know I blast music. that I just did.
Kika doesn't put the bumper stickers on his car.
No, because I don't want to be going down.
I don't like putting bumper stickers on my car.
I don't want to be going down the street and have like a Cardi B song, and then there's an iChurch sticker on the back of my car.
I mean, it makes sense.
So you know what? I fall short too.
Yeah. It also like that's another reason why like I don't like put any stickers on my car, is because like it shows like about me, like my personality and stuff, and I don't want to wear it out.
But
or if I have like
Christian
something
could
like
argue that we should.
Exactly, because we're not ashamed, you know, Romans 1:16 and all this stuff. But in reality, we're just like,
you cut me off, I'm mad. I'll be honest, I'm gonna honk back at you.
I mean, like, whoever that Christian is that calls us out is probably covering up something too, because that's mostly why they do.
We have our
you
shortcomings.
Can't please everybody.
No, you can't.
Somebody's gonna think something at some point.
Yeah,
of course. And I was that way too. Like I would see people that now I know at church and they're good friends, but back in high school we went to the same school and we went to the same church, and I was like, they're acting totally different. I don't know. I think they're kind of being fake at this point, or I don't know.
Yeah.
But they in reality, it's just that was their life, and they weren't really being fake. It's just that that's what they knew, you know. So, talking about that, let's describe these things. You know, let's get to the nitty gritty. What would be some Christian stereotypes?
That we think we're better than everybody.
That's a big one, yeah.
A lot of people think that we think that we're better than everybody because we're saved, I guess. I don't know. What else?
I would say that we're supposed to be the perfect ones. Like we're supposed to like.
We should.
Because at any point they can be like, "Aren't you Christian? Aren't you Christian? Aren't you? Don't you love God?" Like da 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 da. That's why I don't follow, because you guys are fake. Da 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 da. That's the most.
I think here where we live, sometimes like you see the Christian like group as like the stuck up ones.
Yeah,
Like the kind of preppy to the side ones. That's like kind of, I guess, kind of what you mean. Like we're better than than others,
Better
but
than
they're
most.
kind of like you can see the group, right?
Yeah,
you can see that
it.
they're like separate from everybody.
Or like Christians do the most.
What do you mean?
I don't really know how to explain that phrase, but like I can like show you how they use it. I was like, dude, you're doing the most. Like
you're too much.
Yeah,
Or
like
that
you're being too much.
We're trying to condemn everybody. Like, oh, you're going to hell.
Or like I don't do
That's
that. Like
true.
I'm Christian. Like da 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 da. It's like sometimes I feel like they look at us like that too.
Yeah, I think the biggest one is that people
I've
think
had
we're
that.
better than them.
When I was in freshman year, I said that I was talking to a group of friends in the classroom, and I just said that I couldn't do it because I had to go to church after school. And the girl, like 2 seats from me, I was like, "Don't do that. Don't use church as an excuse." And I was like, "I'm not.
Whoa.
Like, I'm being unashamed that I had to go to church after school. Like, I'm not using it as an excuse. I'm just saying that I can't. Like I had to go to church." It's like, no, like da, 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 and I was like,
or that we like. Oh, people hate it when we use. I don't know if this is I don't think this counts as a stereotype, but like our opinions were not allowed. They're not allowed to be backed up by our faith. Like if you're going to talk about science, don't include your Christianity. If we're going to talk about politics, do not include your Christianity. It has no place in certain things, or how we want our kids to go to school, like, or learn or whatever.
Yeah.
People hate that.
And in relation to that, people also think that Christians are closed-minded. They don't want to listen to anybody else's opinion. They, just because we disagree with somebody doesn't mean we're not going to hear you out, or maybe I'm not in agreement, but you do you, And
a lot of those things also come from like
real experiences.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like,
and
if one Christian falls, like we all fall.
Yeah. And I mean, stereotypes are there because so many people have done it that it is put on the majority instead of the minority that has committed it.
Yeah, and that's one thing that always bothers me when I try to invite people to church. I was that one person that I was very outgoing, very friendly, and invite them to church. They'd be like, "Yo, I really think you would love my church. I really think that I hope you give it a shot, this and that." And I don't invite anybody.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I mean, that's not supposed to work. You're not supposed to go only for the ones that would fit in. I was like, no, go. I had gay friends. I have people that were just messed up. People that believed in like weird stuff. Those are the people that I would invite. Yeah. I would invite the people that are invisible. I would invite people that are just normal or disguising the crowd. I really tried. And none of them, not a single. Really? Yeah, no, I think like 2 people went to church, and that was it. And then they didn't come back. But I guess it's just because, it's just to show up and that's it.
Yeah, that's okay.
But other people, when I graduated afterwards, they started coming because other people would invite them. And I was like, you remember when I invited you?
Sometimes it's the repetition, though, that gets somebody to go.
Well, and but it's also, I know why. It's because the people that would invite them were like the cooler people in school. I'm the oddball. Like I am
and that's
the
I think
outcast.
one of the other stereotypes, like on the other side of the stuck up Christians, there's also the stereotype kind of similar to the homeschool stereotype. That if you're homeschooled, you're weird. Yeah. There's another stereotype that if you're Christian, you're just kind of weird. You're just
somehow I made it through school without being either of those. But that's just because I barely got with it. And then would talk to me, and I was like, cool. Yeah.
Because when I started going, I converted when I was 15. And so my freshman year, I wasn't a Christian whatsoever. And I had friends, and I smoked weed with my friends, hung out with my friends, all that normal stuff, right? Come sophomore, junior year, Well, that wasn't my lifestyle anymore. And although a lot of people knew, I was at the high school for freshman to senior year, right? Yeah. Everybody looked at me like I was very innocent, like I didn't know anything. And
like you can't relate, you can't, you don't understand.
Or just, Brill doesn't have a place in this conversation, which, I don't want a place in it, but it's kind of like, okay, I'm not a child, all right? I'm the same age as you, all right? I live in the same, I used to always say that, I live in the same world as you.
I know what you mean.
Oh, I would always tell people that.
It's like, it bothers you because you know what you're talking about, and you probably even know a little bit more than they do. And you're calm down right now. And I was like, you don't know anything. Why are you telling me to calm down? And it's like, okay, like plenty of times when I try to invite people, they just kind of didn't want to. Like, they would bring up any reason whatsoever, and I was just like, I get it. All right, it's cool. I'll just say that I don't know anything. Sorry for not minding my own business.
Yeah, you never turned to them and were like, "Don't do that. Don't make excuses." You never did that.
Imagine if we spoke to people the way they speak to us.
And it's really hard to speak up too. You want to speak up for something that you value, and they're gonna think that you're attacking them. There's just no win.
I think just history-wise, Christian beliefs have been what this country has always believed in. It's what it was founded on. And Christian beliefs are also what have oppressed many people. And so as we continue in society and we're stepping away from the bad things that have happened, not because Christianity is wrong or because it's bad, it's just culturally how it was used, in society, how it was used to oppress people, to bring wrong,
fix somebody that didn't need fixing,
or fix somebody that didn't need fixing or whatever. That now we're becoming a nation that doesn't believe in God and stuff like that. And so now when you try to be a Christian and speak your voice, all people see is that oppression that was given, all that hurt in the name of God, And so I can understand, especially when I talk to somebody who isn't a believer. And a lot of the times I don't ever try to be like, the Bible says this or God says this. Like, I want to speak to you on the same level.
Saying the Bible says this doesn't have weight to them.
No, it doesn't mean anything to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why, in a sense, not why bring it up, but I don't know if that makes any sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so with that being said, do you think that there will be anything that you feel like you missed out on? Like,
for being a Christian.
For being a Christian.
Like, there's no other way to put it. I mean, did you feel like you missed something out for being a Christian?
I think no. I don't feel like it. But don't get me wrong. Like, there's been times, like, for example, we said in the beginning, right? We don't get drunk. We don't extremely party. We don't do drugs, right?
Yeah.
Like, growing up, I would go dancing because we have like a little local club here in Hickory, and I would be able to get in. Oh my God. If nobody really knows me, it's going to be terrible. But it is what it is. I would be able to get in.
Exposed?
Dressed up. However, and this is before Christ, okay?
It's the truth.
It's the truth. I can get in if I was dressed a certain way. If I looked older, I could get in. And at certain places, if you don't have an ID, well, they'll just give you an X on your hand and you're good. Like, they don't worry. They're like, oh, you look old enough, whatever. All they care about is that you don't drink, right? If you don't have an ID, because that's what they get in trouble for, in a sense. Yeah. And so there's been times where when I would go and, party, dancing or whatever, there's been times where I'm like, I just want to dance because you guys know me, and I don't know who much everybody else, but I love dancing. I love it.
You love dancing?
I love dancing. I love playing music and just dancing around my house or with friends or whatever. I enjoy it. And dancing isn't wrong. Like, let's make that clear. Like, it's not. But what's wrong is the environment and what it invites. Because I'm going to be honest, there's been times, not anytime recently, but before, maybe in the past, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, probably, I had this feeling. Man, I just kind of want to go dancing. Like, I just want to, just go out and dance. There's nothing wrong with it. But when I think about every experience I've had at a club, oh my God, it's terrible. There hasn't been a single time that somebody hasn't grabbed my butt or has spilled a drink on me or grabbed me the wrong way or breathed on me or tried to kiss me. Or there's girls in the corner fighting because somebody talked to their man, and there's dudes over here fighting because they're drunk. Like, and that's the problem, right?
Everybody all sweaty.
Everybody's all nasty. You go driving home drunk. It's ridiculous. People taking advantage of other people. And so that's a thing. It's not that I feel like I missed out. I think it's like sometimes maybe it is innocence or whatever, but like I miss that little activity. But at the end of the day, what invites it or what's acceptable in that environment, no. Like, maybe I can think like I miss dancing, but I think real quick too.
I don't miss the club.
But I don't miss the club.
It's like you found a way around it. I mean, you dance with your friends, now we have fun. But going to those places is just
I don't need that environment to have certain types of fun, or like getting drunk.
Yeah,
there's people that
better
think
ways
that's
to
fun,
getting
but
the same results. Well, better
I'm
results.
sorry, waking up the next day hungover, it sucks. Not being able to be aware of yourself and control of yourself, like you can. And if you're like this, I apologize. Like might not agree with me or whatever. But a lot of people that I know, whether you think it or not, you're just feeling a void. You feel a void when you try to feel weightless, feel apart from the world. Because at least for me, and whoever, if anybody thinks I'm wrong, correct me, go for it. I don't care. But for me, smoking weed was to separate myself from this world, was to have a moment of peace, was my cope. And so it's just feeling a void.
Search for it.
Search for it. Same with getting drunk. I'm like, it's just not
They're the ones missing out. I don't feel like I miss out on anything. I choose what I do and don't do in my life. It's my decision. And I have a great life. I have fun. I'm filled with joy. I have truly been blessed.
Yeah.
Like, everything that I have is because of God. And I'm just not a very extroverted, outgoing person in general. I think even if I was, there's a chance, there's not really a what if, because this is my present. But there's a chance that if I wasn't with Christ, I still probably wouldn't do some of the things that the world does. Just because of my personality. But I don't feel like I miss out on anything.
I don't think so either for me. I have family, relatives that drink, smoke, and I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy seeing it. I don't like the results. I don't like that they end up smelling like beer and smells nasty. I've heard that it tastes nasty. I smell the cigarettes. They smell like they're burning lungs. I don't like that. It's nasty. Everything is nasty. Yeah. Weed, I don't get it, man. Like people, like you said, they were just trying to like separate. And I understand that people just sometimes do it to decompress. Skip time for a little bit, but. You smell nasty. Putting junk in your body. Like, I'm not trying to, like, none of what we've been saying has been Christian, if you haven't noticed. Like, a little bit of Christianity, yes, because we're trying to protect ourselves and sharing a little bit of our faith, but it's also the things that are, like, reasonable. These are facts.
Yeah, reasonable
that just,
cons.
Yeah, like, it has nothing to do with religion. Good. It's just... I don't want lung cancer.
It's just not good for you.
No.
And knowing that it's not good for us, that's when we tie our Christianity in. That if it's bad for us, then it's wrong. It's a sin, If you know something is wrong and you do it, it's a sin. That's how we tie it in. I was like, this isn't right. We're not taking care of ourselves. We're not being responsible.
Yeah.
We're not having self-respect. We're not loving ourselves.
Yeah.
Then God gave us His life. We gotta, give it back to Him some way.
And I think as a Christian, if you like start like dancing on that line, right?
Yes.
Like I can do this if I'm not like going all the way, or I can do this
It's
if
like
it's
playing
just
with
one
fire.
time, you know?
Yeah.
You start inviting things into your life that are just bad. Next thing you know, you're like gossiping all the time and all this drama with other people, where then it's like, why am I in this? Because you started dancing on that line and getting yourself in the wrong situations with the wrong people. Like, you know, it's just it just creeps up on you, and you just keep getting in, and that line starts moving and moving, and then there's no line, you know?
Yeah. And another thing is, like for me, I've dealt with pornography. That's something that was like my past life, even as a Christian. You know, I did this through my teenage Christian years, and it was a big struggle in my life. I don't do it anymore, and then I found Kathy afterwards. That was the greatest blessing, to be able to take two birds with one stone. You know, I was able to overcome something and gain something.
Get your blessing.
A blessing.
Yeah.
And that is something that I don't miss. That is something that I look back.
Yeah.
And, you know, back in the day, that was really tempting for me. You know, it was like, you know, a different world to me. And I look back at it and I'm like, it took so much from me. It took every night. Because it's at night, being real.
Yeah.
Nobody does it in the day. Unless you're home alone.
Nobody does it in the day.
Let's be real. I mean, come
yeah.
on. So, like, every night, wake up, go to school, groggy, I'm dead. I get happy. I'm with my friends. I'm playing video games. Then I'm back in my room, you know, or in the bathroom, whatever. And that was a constant thing. And not only did it affect me, but then I started realizing the truth behind the scene. And I was like, I'm not just hurting myself. I'm hurting my friends, and I'm hurting the people in this video. You know, they're not doing it for real.
Sure.
They're drugged. They're forced to do this. Some people, I still find it hard to believe, but it is true in some cases that they never realized that they were in a porn video.
Yeah, no,
they
some
thought that they
people
were
never
selling their body.
Consented to it being shared online.
Exactly. They didn't think that they were in a contract or something. They thought that they were getting money by selling this video. In that video, and then we're like, okay, I'm gonna make another video to get more money. And then they didn't realize that they were in some kind of contract. And then they give them a contract, and they're like, whoa, no, I'm not signing to that. So it's crazy how these things come along, and
sin attracts more sin, and just more comes with it. There's always more to it.
Don't miss that at all. I don't miss any of it, and I don't think I'm missing out on anything. I think where I'm at is my best.
I agree. I agree.
And it could get better, you know, because now here in the future, we're going to go on a trip on July on a nice vacation.
Go to Miami.
We're going to Miami, you know, and we're just going to have fun. Us Christians being able to be ourselves and not feel like we're going to miss out on anything, and be dancing till probably 12 at night and not feel like we're sinning, you know, like not feel like we're having to do the wrong things. Like we're not wanting what the world is giving. We're just wanting what we can make out of ourselves.
Agreed.
And this is why we don't miss it.
This isn't like, we don't give advice on here, but I just feel like if you're a Christian and you feel like you do miss some things from your past, right, before Christ, and it happens. Like I even said it. Like I've had those desires of like, man, I miss going out and dancing with my friends and having a great time or whatever, or what I assume to be a great time. Find somebody, ask somebody that you trust, and I think that's the hardest thing, which is so sad, because sometimes we go to churches and we feel like we're really going to be judged. But just try. And you know what? If somebody does judge you or look down on you, just do not take that person as the entire population of the body of Christ. Look for somebody again. But I just encourage you, if you're a Christian and you feel like you're having some desires from before, speak to somebody, ask somebody to help you, be accountable for it, and understand that you're not the only one. You're not the only one. We all go through it, and you will probably go through it for the rest of your life. We will go through temptation through the rest of our lives.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very well put. We've kind of covered these next 2 points, but just to go over it here, what do you think are some of the heat that we take from other Christians?
When they mess up, we all messed up. According to society, like we said.
Yeah.
I mean, gossip is a great one. Like when it comes to drama, dude.
A good
sometimes
example?
You don't even know you're part of it until like it comes up, and they're like, "Well, so and so said this," and I was like, "I wasn't even there that night," you know.
Dude, a good example: the Hillsong documentary that just came out. You haven't seen it? I've only seen one episode. You don't know what I'm talking about? So, Hillsong is a big church, right? Based in Australia, and they have like multiple locations all around the United States, right? And around the world, basically.
Right.
Well, they had one incident with their New York campus pastor. I think his name was Carl Lentz, right?
Yes.
And he was forced to step down, or he resigned, and it was because of infidelity and stuff like that, and blah, blah, blah. And then even the head pastor, who is, I guess, no longer, I don't know who's in charge, I can't remember his name. He had problems with alcohol and infidelity as well, and just a bunch of stuff. So a documentary came out about that, about the pastor in New York resigning, and then the head pastor, resigning too, and what happened. And they went through a bunch of stuff, all the scandals that happened in that church with women reporting that they had been sexually abused and nothing happened. Women reporting, or couples reporting that that whenever they would confess to a sin, right, they would confess to fornication, that this pastor would like condemn them or tell them that they have to break up or that they can't do this for so long or whatever. But then behind closed doors, that pastor was having an affair with another woman or just stuff like that. It was just bad. Or just on all levels, when somebody finally wanted to speak out, they were silenced. It was ridiculous. But when you see major things like that on the news, a big church, you assume that a lot of big churches,
the whole Hillsong church is ruined.
All of the Hillsong churches are ruined. Everybody,
but in reality, they're not.
That whole congregation, or even you can take it at Christians' value, because although Hillsong isn't the platform of what we base our churches off of, but a lot of churches are inspired to be big, and to grow. And it's not because of numbers or for money or whatever. And you can think that. And that's another one, that Christians, we just want your money or whatever. But we inspire to grow the kingdom of heaven, right? And so we see that. We play their songs in a service, or they're viral everywhere. And so we take heat for that. 100%. I mean, I haven't had anybody be like, "Oh, I saw the Hillsong documentary. You guys are terrible." But just in general, you put a big media thing.
Anytime that there's a pastor or a church in the news, my heart hurts. Because it
happened to that one church, Jesus Culture. I think it was a band. But they're I think one of their lead singers like went into that same area, and it was like a lot of people like they were heartbroken about this band. Like
you and me had there was an artist that both me and Kike like really enjoyed, even though like it was very iffy, but it was a level of respect that was there because of the label that he was associated with, and same with him, like he cheated on his wife.
So I'm willing to go more in detail without saying names though, but it was an amazing experience for me too. Guys, I really don't listen to a lot of worldly music. I really don't. So when I find Christian rappers that are for real and that they are speaking the truth, and then sometimes they put out their music about their life or about their wife or something, and I'm understanding of that. I can be lenient, but like they gave me these songs. They gave me these songs that I can listen to and feel like I'm not sinning, that I'm not listening to something that is influencing me in the wrong way, and to hear that one of my favorite artists cheated on his wife, it was like, oh my gosh. And it wasn't just cheating on his wife. It's like he what's that word? He was harassing
harassing
women, sending inappropriate pictures, and it broke my heart. It broke my heart that I thought this man was awesome, and I wasn't thinking he was perfect. I don't expect him to be perfect. I don't expect any of the artists to be perfect. I listen to their music knowing that they're almost testifying. I don't speak for them as a whole because I don't fully know, and I don't want to be biased, but I know that they're testifying God's word. I know that's also a way to evangelize, but knowing that, I know that I can't expect them to be the best big thing, especially when they're on screen. But it did took a toll on me learning about what happened behind the scenes, and I just felt like it was no longer like a thing where, okay, I can still listen to his music because I can respect and understand. I didn't feel like that.
Yeah.
I felt like through his music, he was doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Through his late music, he was doing this. And I felt that not being picky or like, oh, like he curses music, but where this music came from did not have a good...
Yeah. He wasn't
can't have the word for it, but
he wasn't in a good place.
He wasn't in a good place, so his music is not coming from the right area. You know, in his heart, that wasn't what was he singing for. Mm-hmm. He was probably thinking about something else while he was singing the songs. Yeah. And it's sad for me to think this way because what if he wasn't? But that's what it made me feel.
That's what makes you feel, though.
You know. So that was one of the big things. And what would you think? How would your response to people saying that Christian's life is limited? So our last and final one.
I don't think, kind of going back to the dancing thing, I don't think we're limited. Like, it's not that I can't dance. It's not, honestly, at the end of the day, it's not that we can't do anything. Mm-hmm. We are given full permission by the Lord to do whatever the heck that we want. Mm-hmm. To do whatever.
Free will.
We have free will. We are allowed to do whatever we want. It's just do we want to because we know that's the best thing for us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Going back to like taking religion out of it, like let's just say smoking cigarettes, like you can do whatever you want, but at the end of the day, it has consequences. Mm-hmm. If you're okay with those consequences, please, you go for it. You do you. You know, be happy, whatever. But if you're not okay with those consequences, if you don't be surprised if you smoke for 20 years and then you end up having cancer, lung cancer. You know what came with your actions. Mm-hmm. It's the same way, you know, it's just understanding what you had said earlier. When you sin, you invite more sin into your life. So whenever people who are constantly sinning and they're like, well, I have depression and I'm a Christian, where's God during this? Mm-hmm. Hey,
it's not where God is where you're at.
Where are you at? You know, answer that question first. Yeah. Why does the Bible say that we can't get high or drunk or whatever? Well, it's because when you're not sober-minded, that's when the devil's out doing his best work. Mm-hmm. Because you're not fully aware, because you're not fully intact with yourself, because you're not in tune with the Spirit. Yeah. That's when, at the end of the day, and again, if you're not Christian, this really means nothing to you. But for Christians who are just kind of still on the fence of, should I have Christianity? I feel limited. The Bible says that the devil exists to kill and to destroy. Yeah. That's the only intention. Yeah. All right. So when you do things that are against feeding the Spirit, that's in turn what you're doing. There is no lukewarm. You're either for the Lord or you're for the devil. And that might sound very black and white, but that's what it is. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And if you're okay with being for Satan, you do you, bro. But me in my life, I don't feel limited. I think I've lived both sides. You grew up Christian, even though you have your testimony too. Mm-hmm. I've lived both sides of the spectrum. Both sides of the spectrum completely. Yeah. Man, I've never felt more free. Never felt more free. Never felt more in tune. Never felt more in love with myself as a human. I feel like I have purpose. I feel like I have calling. I feel like I have a place in this world. I don't feel empty compared to when I was, in a sense, not restricted whatsoever and could choose whatever I wanted to do. Man, that was the darkest time of my life.
You know, and that's one of the things, and that's just hitting the superficial level on what I'm about to say is that a lot of people think we're limited in the Christian world, but really it's something that we learn as we're Christians, and it's something that I'm going to give you guys to have that piece of knowledge is that you got to think about it at this way. You know, something that we learned is that we feel free. We feel like we have all these decisions that we take on our own. Like nothing is going wrong. And if it does go wrong, I fix it. I put my efforts into it in this world. But that's only because Satan doesn't waste his time with you. He's wasting his time with us Christians because we're the ones battling him.
Yeah.
And God already won the war. Spoiler alert. We're the ones having to fight this battle because we're the ones testifying the victory,
truth.
you know, the truth. And when they become Christians, when newcomers, these babies, they become Christians, they're like, oh, this church sucks, you know, it's like this and that, and this person talking about me, my family's pissed off at me, like this and that.
Yeah.
Dude, because you were doing the right thing, Satan got pissed off. You know? Satan doesn't want you near God. Satan doesn't want you to do the right thing. Satan doesn't want you to have fun.
If there's anyone trying to limit you, it's Satan.
It's Satan.
It's trying to limit you to the bad things where he can keep you where he wants you.
And a lot of people,
but they don't see it like that.
Even if they know about this, they have some excuse. How can you have an excuse for something that is so literal? Like it's there. You know, and that's something that sometimes is hard to explain to people that can't really comprehend it. It's just there, you know. Do you have anything to say?
I think for me, I just think when I go about my normal life, like I don't go, you know, like I'm limited, I can't do this or I can't do that. I just think, will I enjoy this and what do I get out of it? That's it. What's the result of it? And if the result is going to be good, a result that I want, I'm going to partake in it, you know? Like we go to social events and we, you know, somebody invites us to a quinceañera, to a wedding, and we know there's going to be alcohol there. I'm not going to decline the invitation because some people at the wedding are going to be drinking. No, I'll go attend your wedding. And the wedding wasn't in a church. That doesn't mean I'm not going to go to your wedding. I'll go and I'll be there.
Your wedding wasn't in a church.
But there was a pastor married. But, you know, I'll go. I'm just not going to partake in the drinking. I'm not going to, you know, but that's my personal decision. It's not the results I want.
Sorry, I think I forgot what I was going to say. I was so ready to say something and it just
no worries.
flew out of my head. But yeah, I totally agree with that. And what I was gonna say is like, I went to my prom for my senior year. I gave it a shot. You know, I was like, you know, I'm gonna try this. It was crazy. And the crowd went wild, and they were like, through the window, through the wall. Everybody was going crazy, and I was on the dance floor. You know, I was like trying to have a good time. I was like, man, like I gotta enjoy what I have without being bad. You know, it's like I was trying to be as limited as I can, but I have fun, and I didn't feel like I missed out on any. I don't even know if there was an after party. You know how they do.
There probably was.
There probably was. They just didn't invite me. And which I'm fine because I was really tired after that prom. But yeah, I have fun, and I didn't feel like I did anything wrong, and I didn't feel like I missed out on anything. And I went to a prom.
Yeah.
And some of my friends were there.
There's no guilt and no regrets afterwards.
No regrets.
Exactly. That's what it means to me, at least. That's what it means for me to have fun as a Christian. The fact that you can do whatever you want and not feel guilt, not feel any responsibility to fix anything whatsoever. The fact that God gave you free will and you took it the best way possible, and that you didn't harm yourself, you didn't harm the people around you, and that you had a great time. That's what it is for Christians to have fun,
Yes.
to be free and have fun.
Agree.
That's it.
And you're a real fun guy. You'll be anywhere and have
Yeah.
I'm a
fun.
fun guy, man. Like
I'm a
I'm a
fun guy.
mushroom all the way. No. So, disclaimer: if you have made it this far, you will be the troopers that will realize that we're actually drinking apple juice. Great Value, don't sue us. I'm just showing that we're drinking apple juice.
Ample juice.
But yeah, disclaimer: we're not drinking alcohol.
Just in case one of you was trying to judge us.
Yeah,
Which
this
is
was
If anybody comes up to us at church or whatever and be like, "What were y'all drinking?" We know that you didn't watch.
Yeah.
We know
And
that you
this
didn't
video,
watch
this
the video.
podcast is proof. 4K.
4K.
We're caught in 4K drinking apple juice.
Yes.
So let's leave this with a little good note, which is a Bible verse in Ecclesiastes chapter 2, verse 24 through 25, which is, a person can do nothing better than to eat and drink and find satisfaction in their own toil. This too I see is from the hand of God, for without him, who can eat or find enjoyment? Which that basically means to the person who pleases him, to one who believes in God, to one who basically has his faith in God and knows that he doesn't have to do certain things, he finds pleasure in God. God provides him with that. God gives him the wisdom, the knowledge, and the happiness, and that's really good. That the fact that it could have been meaningless, it could have been sucky, it could have taken a big toll on us. It could have been a big toll on us. But because we had God in our lives and we chose what we wanted, God gave us that pleasure. And we have this happiness, we have this wisdom, and we're able to enjoy off of it. So, this has been a great episode. I thank you guys for hopping along. This is Childhood Expired. Like and comment down below what you think and your experiences. And if you need anything at all, we're here for you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is Childhood Expired, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.
Bye.